Hi, everybody. This is Jim Cornette, pro wrestling legend, and you're listening to the Book in the Territory Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast.
This is the artist formerly known as Daryl Van Horn, James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister, and I'm here to let you know I would rather slam my cock in a car door than to miss the dulcet tones of Hard Body Harper, my illegitimate son, on Booking the Territory podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of our Smoky Mountain Rasslin podcast. This is Smoky Mountain Wrestling, episode 194 from October the 14th, 1995. And this is Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling podcast, where today I'm sitting here once again with Bobby Blaze and Doc Turner. Doc, you just told me you're ready to roll, so you ready to roll?
I am ready to roll. In the new age, this is recorded in April, so in the new age of homeschooling, man, I gotta brush up on some basics. Now. I got to get hooked on phonics so that I can get these kids reading. So, let's I think we'll check in on our good friend Mr. Blaze over there, and then just hit it to the ring.
Hit the go home view. Let's go home now. No, Bobby, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm all right. You know, it's crazy right now. We know that. Let's just roll this thing, man.
Yeah, let's try to. Hey, we all know that everybody's going through stressful and uncertain and times. So we're going to try to keep it as normal as we can for the next 45 minutes to an hour, and hopefully you guys have a little bit of fun listening to this. Take your mind off the troubles for a little bit. Yeah, and with that, Larry Santo and Buddy Landell here.
Hey, let me take care of one thing, Doc, real quick. So, before
we
get started,
what?
Well, I got to take care of some business first. All right, calm down. I got to tell
the
people
about the
where.
Business?
I got to tell the people where this thing is coming from. Where we're at.
You want me to do some demographics?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
All right. So once again, this is episode 194, October 14th, 1995. This is taping number 1 from Harlan, Kentucky. Boy, that's a hell of a place to wrestle from what I've been told. At the Kaywood High School gym, drawing 200 people if you believe the internet. So a new location on this week's episode. So I wanted to mention that. And then shout out to Disrespectfully Classy, Marky Blassie, Kyle Riley, Mike Childry, Joe Ice. Thank you for your generous patronage each and every month. And like Doc was saying a second ago, we go straight to the ring. And where we got Buddy Landell versus Larry Santo. My notes: Budro wins with a corkscrew elbow drop and then the figure 4 in under 3 minutes. Doc, anything from you?
Ponytail Buddy is really not screaming babyface to me. It's kind of like when Paul Lee had one in that 1988 NWA show that we did not too long ago, a couple of months back. It's just an interesting look from him. I think Buddy just, other than that one moment where he summons the world with Shawn Michaels in that promo, Buddy struggles being a babyface because he's just such a natural good heel.
Yeah, there's something to that, but I actually think Buddy's fine, but that I think he's fine as a babyface, but the that sleazy looking ponytail he's got, he looks like a straight dirtbag. Nothing against Buddy. He's not a dirtbag, but yeah, that ponytail is something extra. Bobby, anything from this?
Yeah, I put Buddy as a face, like you all have always mentioned just now. Just an okay match. It is, but go to the 358 mark there, if you would. When Santo pulls his hair, it's around 358 or so. Watch Buddy's bump. He just rolls back, and a lot of people, I don't know, may or may not know, I've known Buddy since 1988. I was in a tag match in Pikeville, Kentucky. I'd had about 10 or 12 matches. I was in a business. I hadn't been a Malenko's yet.
I thought you were going to say I'd had 10 or 12 beers.
No. And so I met Buddy, and I had seen him on TV, and I liked Buddy. So, I don't want to take that away, but I knew then when I saw him working, I was like, this thing's a work. So I had already sent out letters and this and that, and ended up going to Malenko's. But when I first got into a territory up in Canada, up in the Maritimes, I took a bump like that in the ring a couple times. One time you get all excited and someone punches you right in the very beginning of the match or something. And I sell a son of a bitch like I shot out of a cannon. And then sometimes just take that little bump like that because you're sore after 6-7 nights in a row because it's 7-night-a-week territory twice on Sundays at that time. And everyone referred to that as the Budro bump. So everyone up there, they knew who Budro was. You know, they knew who Buddy was back. This is around 90, 91, something like that. But they're like, hey, Budro, get off your ass and move tonight, you know, or something. He wasn't there. They was talking about me or my buddy Rico from Florida, or each other. We'd be like, these guys are just taking these Budro, you know, bumps. When I saw that I was popped for it, I thought I'd put that in there. The thing I had, though, if you watch the finish, I mentioned this last episode, it's the knee, punch, slam to the corkscrew elbow, then to the figure 4. Simple, but man, he just makes it look so good. It's so professional, a step above. It's just that knee to the gut, guy bends over, punch him side the head, stays over, slams him, stays there, does that corkscrew like only Buddy can do it, and then he puts him into the figure 4. And I really like that sequence. I really like that sequence a lot. So other than that, that's all I'm going to say about that match.
He's posing when he's giving him the figure 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't exactly scream babyface, but it's entertaining as hell.
And Harlan is fucking tough. Let me tell you, that is coal mining country. Go back and watch that movie from like 1973, 76, somewhere in that time frame. There's a documentary about the coal miners in Harlan, Kentucky. Them some tough bastards down there, man, and they're hardcore people. And it's a tough ass little town and community down that way. And I've wrestled there several times through the years with Smoky Mountain and outside of Smoky Mountain. Harlan is tough in Kentucky. That's when you saw the fans and when you see the doc didn't give the demographics, you don't have to, just believe me. That's coal mining and that's tough bastards down there. So and Buddy being posing, well, I'm sure they didn't take it too kindly as him as a face either. They didn't really give two shits there because they're hard to impress. They see fights every fucking day right out in the, front of their houses and down the street and the little businesses. They're tough people down there. Tough times too for them.
Bo James has told us quite a few Harlan stories when he was on the show a few years back. We've heard of how Harlan is something else when it comes to their fans. He's like, even in 2020, they still think it's real when you go there. Real quick on that bump you're talking about, that looks like the bumps that you take when you're just learning how to wrestle too, because you're scared to fly backwards.
Yes,
that's exactly what that. I've seen so many guys like they just don't want to fly backwards and take the bump, and so they roll backwards softly and they're like, no, that's not going to cut it. I may have actually been guilty of that when I first learned how to bump. I was like, go backwards and do what? Anyway, it's something else. You gotta overcome this. Some people have to overcome this. Anyway, all right, let's go to a promo now from the Dirty White Boy. I felt like this was random and came out of nowhere, but I want to play it. So here it is.
People keeps calling the Smoky Mountain office. They keep coming up to me and to Tracy and to Brad Armstrong, asking, why won't you team up with Nature Boy Buddy Landell? Why won't you help the Nature Boy out? Well, it's simple. It's real easy. We can't trust him. Why should we be able to trust a man after all the things that, well, personally he's done to me, he's done to Brad, Tracy, Robert Gibson, to everybody. Now, I can understand, Buddy Landell, your way of thinking, what you're trying to do, and I appreciate that. But just for us to drop all of our personal problems, our personal griefs, just everything towards you, and just be buddy-buddy, it's not going to happen. I was in your same position once before, Nature Boy. Oh, yeah. And I had to earn the respect of each and every wrestler in Smoky Mountain area. You're going to have to do the same thing, Nature Boy. You're going to have to prove yourself, not only to me, but all the other wrestlers, all the fans, everybody. That's exactly what you've got to do. And then, and only then, you'll have some friends and some help.
Last week, the Thugs battled the heavyweight.
This was really random, was my note, but
well, and here's the thing: it's even more random because last week in Buddy's promo, he said that Ron Wright and Dirty White Boy had taught him some tricks with the chain. So it really doesn't make any sense. But the truth is, why would they trust him? And if anybody knows about how the long, hard road to doing a face turn and building trust, it's Dirty White Boy because he did it.
I don't want to say nothing bad here. I don't know how much I like this. Bobby, this is the cliff, but whatever.
I put okay. I put okay.
I mean, Doc, am I wrong for being confused by this? Like, what?
I wasn't. But hey, I mean, there's a lot of things in this world that you get confused about that I don't. So
actually, it's the other way around.
I've just learned to live with it.
Okay, you want to be a jackass right now. That's real nice of you. You do this all the time. All the time.
What? We're buddies.
We get a replay of the Thugs losing to the Bodies, with the Bodies cheating and the Thugs telling Sandy that they want a rematch at Halloween Scream with a special referee that weighs more than 115 pounds because poor Mark Curtis was not a very big man. We don't cover replays, so let's go to the promo now with the Thugs promoing the match and who is going to be the special referee.
White boy and the wild-eyed thunderbolt, Tracy Smothers. Trace, we just saw the tape of you guys in Heavenly Bodies. Of course, everyone's talking about the loaded boot. You know more about that than anybody else. And we also saw a piece of videotape where you asked for a special referee. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's exactly right. You know something? The hundreds of people here in Harlan and the millions of people right there at home know for a fact Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles could see that Dr. Tom Pritchard loaded that boot and gave me my 14th concussion and cost us the Smoky Mountain Tag Team titles. Halloween Scream Tour, Knoxville, Tennessee, Smoky Mountain Street Fight, come as you are. We're not even going after the belts there because Heavenly Bodies, we're getting that boot off of you, Dr. Tom. And in Knoxville, in Johnson City, the following week on the 28th, double chain match. His mentor, Ron Wright, is the one that invented it. And we got that special referee. We got somebody that all the millions of people out there watching right now know. One half of the Rock and Roll Express, Robert Gibson. That's right, baby. He's going to be the referee. He's going to be the special referee, Robert Gibson. And going to hook us up, and Robert Gibson's going to make sure everything goes straight down the middle, because we're going to stop it. Well, here's the man, Robert Gibson. That's it, baby.
See, Les, my job is to referee a double chain match. I'm going to make sure that justice is done. See, I'm not a 125 or 130-pound referee that they can knock around. See, I'm full grown. I'm 230 pounds. When that match is over, I will be standing there.
So Heavenly Bodies, I guess you heard that. We kind of got the angles covered here, because in a double chain match, you can do whatever you want to. You can't run, because if you try to run, you got to drag this big butt all over the place. Ain't that right, Wild Animal? I'm screaming, because it goes like this. Heavenly Bodies, if you want to go to heaven, you got to raise a little hell, and the Thugs know how to do it. T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, because a thug can't spell. The sides are evened out. We'll see.
There you have it with the Thugs. They'll be tangled with the Heavenly Bodies. We'll be back with more action right after this.
Okay, Tracy hit.
That's what I'm screaming.
Tracy hit the double right there. He said, "That's what I'm screaming," followed by how to tell us how to spell or what Thug stands for. Bobby, what did you think?
Yeah, did you hear the pop? They said 200 people there in Harlan. It probably was, because I've been there enough to know, like I said, and believe me, they were popping for that thing. And even before they announced Hoot coming out as a referee, they were already popping. Tracy had them, fired up, man. And then he said, the hunters here at Harlan, they popped, man. And then when Gibson got out, they popped even. It just was, they were really into it. And then Tracy, like you said, hitting the double there, I was like, that's what I'm screaming, man. Yeah, it's fired up, man, for sure.
Yeah, that was
fans were there. They were there for it,
They're a small bunch, but they're a loud bunch.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Doc, what do you have? Anything? Yes, sir.
I really did think this was pretty good. This was really good. Tracy was really ringleading this thing and getting it going, and fired up and ready to roll. Probably making sure that they could get some of that merch money at the break. Don't blame him. Getting these people into this thing. Millions at home. He always says that. It's great. Makes it seem bigger than it is. Anybody else cringe when he said he got his 14th concussion?
Yes.
We treat that a lot differently these days than we used to. That was like a badge of honor back then. Now it's like, oh man, that sucks. And then My only problem here with Gibson is the ref. So we're going to have a one-eyed ref? Is that what we're doing? How's that an improvement?
Come on, bro.
What?
Are you serious? And you think I'm the heel here?
I'm just saying, man. What's he going to be looking at here?
Wow. Well, on that note, let's keep going because I love Budro here. Let's hear what he's got to say as he's being interviewed by Les Thatcher. Here it is.
The man on a mission, Nature Boy Buddy Landell. And before we go any farther, I want to mention something here that I've noticed, knowing you for quite a few years. The hair doesn't look exactly nature boyish. It's not to the T.
Well, let me explain something to you. I don't have time to go out here and comb my hair and get it done to the satisfaction of all the people that love to see the nature boy the way he looks. Because I'm in a fight of my life. You know something, while we're on this subject, I would love to be the fly on the wall when the conversation is taking place between Tommy Wildfire Rich and Jimmy Cornette. I believe it would go something like this. Jimmy Cornette, whoa, somebody said something about, I don't know if I can fire it up or not, see? Because Buddy Landell, Jimmy Buddy Landell's a lot better man than me. Jimmy Cornette, you give me an awful big shoe to fill when you put me in Buddy Landell's spot. I was a world heavyweight champion, but Jimmy Cornette, that was years ago. But let me tell you something. Jimmy Cornette, I don't think I can beat Buddy Landell because I'm not the man he is. You're stinking right you ain't the man that I am, Tommy Rich. Because this Friday night in Knoxville, Tennessee, 4 Faces of Fear, you want to run for me? 8-foot chain between us. Tennessee chain match, Knoxville, Tennessee. You want to get away from me? You want people running into the ring? 4-pronged barbed wire match. You run out, shredded wheat. Jimmy Cornette sticks his neck in, he's Cornette coleslaw. You want to fight all over the building? Balls count anywhere, on the hood of the car anywhere. You want to bust me open? First blood match. Tommy Rich, you're going to be mine all night.
There you have it from the man on a mission. It's your boy, Buddy Landell. Now let's go to the ring for more Smoky Mountain action.
I just want to go on record. I love Buddy imitating Tommy Rich right there. I thought it was comical. I wouldn't say it was a perfect imitation, but I thought it was okay. Doc, your thoughts?
That popped me, but also I just figured if we were going to have a shoot interview, he'd say, Les, I can't blow dry my hair because I've been too busy busting out some guts earlier in the day.
That's nice, Doc.
Man, can you imagine, though, what a daily grind it was when you're traveling up and down the roads to keep that hair that color like Rick did and that blow dry it? Just the daily maintenance on those manes was probably a level of effort into itself.
Buddy took pride in his hair. From the very first time I met him, he had that big comb, and he's combing his hair back way back when. And here he is now with that ponytail. I'm telling you, Buddy, and he had some nice hair too. I mean, you look at it. He took pride. He spent money on that hair, man. It was beautiful, but him to have it back in that ponytail. And I said, Mike is going to pop when he's doing the TR.
Hell yeah.
I knew it, man. I was just laughing. It wasn't the greatest impression, but it was pretty damn good. But I popped on it too, just knowing him like I know him. But then he ended it with going to be mine all night long. And I was just like, oh man, that's kind of, whatever. But I just knew you'd pop on that Tommy Rich impression, man, when Buddy's trying to do it out there. So, and again, though, he does remember each town and what the stipulation. He tells the stipulations. I like that. He talked them into the building once again. You want to run, you want to, do this, you want to. He really explained it. It's a space alien thing again. You just listen. You know what's going to happen. There's a stipulation, but it's single for that one match, that one town. So, pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I like Buddy here. He was good. He was good. Okay, so we go forward to the next match, which is a fantastic 5-star, actually 6-star match. Flash Flanagan versus Tommy Rich. Great match. 6 stars on the Mike Mills Richter scale. At the finish, Tommy Rich, he hits the DDT on Flanagan and he goes for the pin, but something distracts him and he decides to get up, and something on the outside of the ring just distracted him. I'm not sure what. Anyway, Flanagan, being the experienced great professional that he is, rolls up Tommy Rich with a schoolboy. 1, 2, 3. Tommy Rich loses clean in the middle of the ring. A bazillion stars, as longtime listener Chris Zaha likes to say. Doc, what did you think about this 6-star classic? I mean, this is right up there with Steamboat and Flair.
Come on, pal.
What?
Coming in the ring, Tommy Rich has a theme song here. I had to do a little recon on it because usually I know the songs. I still don't know the song, but I can tell you I've narrowed this down that this is, excuse me, this is Bad Company, but new Bad Company, like early 90s Bad Company when they changed singers. So I did a little bit of research and work on that. It's not the old Bad Company stuff that we all used to hear on the radio. Flash Flanagan is making his debut here. I'll be honest. I've heard the name for years. He's not big on my radar, so don't expect a lot from me there. At 16:30, Les says, you don't have to play it, but just if anybody wants to, Les says that Smoky Mountain is ready to end the year like a house afire. And I thought he should change that to a house on fire. A tire fire, a dumpster fire. And Tommy Rich will work slow on you, huh?
I ain't saying nothing. You don't want that kisses his butt on this show all the time.
Did you think Tommy Rich ever hit a gym or lifted any weights?
The only thing he lifted was the freaking his pinky nail to his nose after he scooped up some powder.
Come on. And then at the end, Buddy steals the vest.
Tell me to lie.
I'm just
moving
on. Buddy steals the vest, and that's a replay of the Garvin-Orndorff feud that we had in '92 when they got Orndorff's robe.
Great callback. That was exactly what that was. I didn't want to say it, but, you know, the dummy that he is with his brain fried got confused and was distracted by something so simple as his vest being paraded around the ring by his upcoming opponent. And if that's not a moron, I don't know who it is.
Hey, pal.
6 stars on the match, though.
Hey, pal. Yeah. Why are you talking about this like it's real?
Because it is.
Oh,
Bobby, what did you think about this 6-star? What did you think, Bobby? Look at the fans; they're cheering. 6-star Matt Classic. Bobby, your thoughts?
Oh man, you got way more of it than I did. I just put once again an old style Southern match. You know, he pulled the hair, blah blah blah. We saw Buddy do it. It was an arm drag and a hip toss, about a baby face, and a body slam, and just Rich, just making it easy for the young Flanagan. I'll say this: I had 16:30-37 mark. Les talked about 1995, as Doc just said. I had that in my notes, and how 1996 was going to be good too. And I'm like, oh, geez, man, what for that. Like I said, starting around 16, I had 37, so somewhere around that 16:30 to around 16:42ish, 45ish. I don't know what it takes them to say it. I'm like, oh man. It hurt my heart. I really did to hear him saying that because what's happening. I remember Rich walking through one time. I was at the gimmick table over in Barbersville, Kentucky, and I don't know what it was like when he first come into and he looked over and he goes, and I'm not going to try to do his voice. Everyone's whatever. He said, you stole my gimmick. You stole my gimmick. Talking about the Blaze thing because that's what I was earlier in the show going. And this is at the intermission, and he was coming out just kind of get some heat, but I was over the babyface thing. But I was like third match right before intermission or something, and he was like, you stole my gimmick, just walking by. I think he might be going to go get Coke or something. I don't know what it was. Or a Coke, I meant.
He's going to get Coke? Oh, yeah, we can go with that.
Anyway, but he was like that Blaze thing and a fire thing and all fired up and all that, so like a house on fire, which I was at that time when I'd met him. But, and then Buddy stealing a vest and, just falling for it and getting beat. And it gives Flanagan a win on TV too, so that's pretty much all I had about that.
6-star Matt Classic
Yeah, I don't know, Mike.
Flanagan with a huge win. Actually, it wasn't that big of a win. I mean, Tommy Rich is nobody. But let's go to Tommy Rich and Jim Cornette now in the promo following the match. Let's hear what they have to say.
Jim Cornette, Wildfire, Tommy Rich, Wildfire. This young Flash Flanagan took you to school in there.
Hey, Les Snatcher, that little young punk didn't take me to school. It's hard enough in the wrestling business to go day by day. You wrestle a young punk, you don't know how many matches he has. You ain't never seen his style. You want to be in your best shape. I'm in my best shape. Buddy Landale, the reason you ain't got no friends is because of things like what you just did just then. And you stole my jacket too. Shut up! Shut up! And you're talking, Buddy Landale, that I've been crying I couldn't fill your shoes. You ain't nothing but a washed up, drunken has-been. Next Friday night, when the Four Faces of Fear start, you better get some fear in your eyes, because I'm not taking it lightly. Because like you said, there ain't gonna be nothing between you and me but an 8-foot chain. Somebody say something about crazy time.
Oh my God.
Friday night, talk about trick or treat. Buddy Landale, I swear, I'm gonna be the means of your end.
That's exactly right. Now I want to say one more thing. I'm going to the commission right now. We're going to get that punk Flash Flanagan next week here on TV, a rematch, and by God, I know Tommy Rich is going to beat him within an inch of his life. And Landale, the Four Faces of Fear are going to be the last face you ever see. There you have it from the General Wildfire, Tommy Rich. And right now, let's go to the ring for more action.
I have never witnessed a more incoherent clown cut a promo in my life. Doc, your thoughts?
Okay. This was not as bad as you're saying. Now, somebody say something about crazy time was a little...
Somebody say something about crazy time. Somebody say something about a bag of cocaine.
Right. So anyway, I'm going to be the means to your end. I thought was a really good line. I did kind of raise an eyebrow like The Rock when he said he was in his best shape ever, because come on now.
And you stole my vest too.
I got eyes and they work. But I thought that last line, "I'm going to be the means to your end," was a strong line, and so it's it's not his best, but it wasn't as bad as you're making it. That's really all I had.
Actually, I think he was pretty good, whining like the little hoe that he is. But Bobby, what do you think?
Okay, let me just stop you guys. I thought it was pretty good, but here's the thing. So fast forward what I told you earlier when he walked by, when he first come in at Smoky Mountain, said, "Hey, you stole my gimmick," to a few years after, probably 4 years after Smoky Mountain shut down, we'll say, somewhere in that time frame. I had been working up for Cleveland All Pro Wrestling for JT Lightning, his group, and I had fun working up there. I had been going up there since like 93 maybe. And so this is, 6-7 years later, and it got to where, and he booked a lot of old style Southern wrestlers, and that was, he just loved the business. And I won't go on about JT because I'll get all torn up. But I used to go pick up Tommy, and I'm not talking out of school here, I don't think, but it got to where I'd pick up Tommy like we'd do like a 3-day run up there in Cleveland. I'd pick him up on a Friday. Of course, as soon as I got there, we hit the beer store, and we'd do a Friday night, a Saturday night, and a Sunday night show, or a Sunday afternoon show. And so, yeah, we hit it pretty hard up there. So I'm guilty too, just saying that. So they even had a bar up there that sponsored the show. Sometimes after the show they'd do pay-per-views and this and that, watch-alongs, and we had a hotel paid for. So anyway, we had hit it hard like on a Friday. We hit it hard on Saturday, and we was at this hotel, and we'd just been drinking some beer and hanging out and this and that. So we had a late checkout. Well, the next day I get up. I wait till like 5 or 6 in the evening, not when I was wrestling, but, before I have a beer or two, or an adult beverage or what have you. But if I'm going to have something during the day, I at least wait to noontime and like maybe a ball game's planned or something like that. So I'm just not that big of a let's get up and drink kind of guy, just so you know. But I had been up in the hotel. I'm not a good sleeper, so I got up early, and I'm sharing a room with Tommy Rich. And so I'm not a big breakfast eater, but I like lunch. So I wait till 10:30, because this is way back in the day before they served, lunch or all day breakfast, all that shit at McDonald's. I go over, I get me a meal. I'm sitting there in the room. Rich is still over asleep. Well, noon, I'm like, well, hell, we ain't got to check out for a couple hours. We'll have to be at the town till like 6. We got plenty of time to kill. There's a mall. So I done ate at like 10:30 whenever they served the lunch. And here it is like noon. And I said, well, fuck. I had the TV on. I start drinking me a couple beers. Well, 2 o'clock rolls around. Phone starting ringing. I'm like, Tommy, we got to get out here. They're giving us the delay. What time is it? This and that. I open the curtains. I said, fuck, it's Sunday afternoon now. And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He does his thing in the bathroom, takes his piss, whatever, and comes out. And he goes, did you drink a couple of them beers? I'm like, yeah, I've had a couple. He goes, well, I fucking got to catch up. Man, we couldn't even get out of the room. He just started cracking them, man. I'm like, I only had 2 because I got to drive in a couple hours anyway, And he got hot because I was 2 beers ahead of him. And I'm like, it's not a competition, man. I got to drive and stuff. He got hot at me because I had started drinking beer before he did that day, and I just had 2. I'd eat like at 10 or 10:30, like I said, around 12:30. I had wait to wake him up, and we still have to travel for a couple more hours. But he got hot about it. I just want to say that, man. That's my funny story, that he got mad at me because I was 2 beers ahead of him. And, of course, we had to go to the next town and all that a couple hours later. Like I said, I had to drive, so I was completely good to go. But it was just the fact that I had started earlier in the day than he did and was 2 beers ahead of him. Plus, I knew after the show ended that night, I had to drive back home, and he just had to go back to the airport or whatever, or maybe to the hotel because he probably didn't get a flight till Monday. But I remember I had to drive home too, so I had a long day ahead of me. But it was just the fact that I had 2 beers and started before he did. He got hot about it. I just wanted to put that out there. I know I'm not trying to talk bad or ill out of school or anything like that. It's just a few beers, but it was just so funny to me because he's former world champion, and I'd been in Smoky Mountain with him and hung out with him at least 1 week in a month, working for JT at that time because we was up there working a little program and stuff, and it was good for 2 or 3 dates a month, and I enjoyed hanging out with them, and it was just some beer, just so you know, wasn't anything else involved, not like that. It was just a funny thing that I didn't think about. I was like, okay, I'll get a couple beers out of the sink there. It had ice in it, and he woke up and saw that they was gone. He's like, you already had some beer, and I'm like, yeah. He goes, hey, he started caught up, man. He had to catch up.
You like that kid from New Orleans drinking my beer? He don't drink beer. That son of a bitch drink Hennessy. He drink that nasty stuff. I drink. Somebody say something about a bag of cocaine with my beer.
Hey, here's the thing. Don't leave Tommy alone, man. He takes pride in what he's good at. I mean, you wouldn't just want to tell Harper that you've already cranked off a couple of times today. I mean, let people be good at what they're good at. Come on.
So what you're saying is...
Yeah, and again, this was years ago. I'm speaking for Tommy nowadays, not like that.
Oh, old Tommy Rich. Great Tommy Rich story. He was mad because he wasn't mad. He had to catch up with you. Good God.
He was mad. He got hot. He got hot that I already had a couple beers and he hadn't, and he had to catch up with me. And I was like, dude, I'm done. I already had a couple. It was a couple hours ago. Chill the fuck out. But he wasn't even fixing to get dressed. He just set his ass back down and started popping the top on one and like trying to catch up. And like, it's not a fucking competition, man. We just got to get out of that fucking hotel room, Yeah, he got hot too, but he got hot and had to catch up.
Doc,
I don't even think he likes me telling that story, just so you know. So
I'm glad you told it. He doesn't like it.
Well, I've told it before to a couple people, and I guess he got hot about that. And I'm just saying it happened, man. You drink a couple beers on the road with a buddy here and there, and no reason to get hot about it.
Hey, Tommy, if you got a problem with Bobby's story, email me, bookingtheterritory@gmail.com if you know how to use a computer or whatnot. If not, get a 6-year-old to help you email the show, and we'll have you come on, and I'll have Doc, since he loves you so much, he'll be on with you, and you can talk to him about wrestling if you don't want to talk to me. There's that. I'm not mad at Bobby. Bobby told us. It's just, God, there's nothing wrong with that story. It's not like you said he did an 8-ball of cocaine. Like in front of you, I don't.
No. I never saw that, to be honest with you, and I'm glad I didn't. But like I said, man, you can't just get up and get hot at a guy for having a couple beers and starting ahead of you.
All
and
right.
catch up with them. Like, fuck.
Doc, any thoughts, or you want to keep going?
Let's keep going, man.
Ron Davis versus the Punisher. Punisher wins with the quick one with ease. Very impressive coast-to-coast type leg drop off the top rope from the Punisher for the win. I don't have anything else from it, Doc. Do you?
We're recycling Kiss's God of Thunder. I think that was, who was that had that? Was it Taz? No, that was War Machine. Maybe it was War Machine. I don't know if we've used it or not. If Night Stalker used it, it felt. Yeah, but man, he jumped the whole way across the ring on that leg drop, huh?
Yeah. I had this, Doc, real quickly. All new music. You said something about Bad Company and Kiss. The new music they started on this taping, I guess. I don't know, maybe some of it the last time too. I think Buddy come out to give me back my bullets or something. So, they changed the music here. I just put the match was kind of because he gave him a terrible clothesline, and I hate clotheslines. And when I used to book these little shows, I had 3 things on the chalkboard or the whiteboard, just depending where we was at in the room, and I always put no nut shots, no clotheslines, and no pay. And it was just a small crew of guys that I had, and I put unless your name is Stan Hansen, you do not throw clotheslines on this show. And a lot of you guys were just beginning guys when I was booking them. It was smaller towns, a little school that I had some guys with, and I'd bring in a couple guys. I said, but no nut shots, because in a fight, the thing's over. No clothesline unless your name's Stan Hansen. You do one of those things, look at rule number 3, no pay. And some of you guys were making $25 or $50, depending on where they was at on the card. New guy. Again, these were new guys, but I hated it. That guy. For a big guy, he gave a terrible fucking clothesline. But I will say this: he jumped all the way. He did the buck snort blast. He did a big choke slam. He made it look better than Dirty White. Well, I was surprised Jimmy let him do that actually, but he did it. And when he done that slam, dude, he went up for that leg drop, and he was agile as fuck going up them ropes. And in slow-mo, you see it. He jumps 3/4. He put him way over in that corner, man. That's very impressive for a guy that size. So he made up for the clothesline. I just want to put that out there, man. Unless your name's Stan Hansen, don't be fucking throwing clotheslines, because he just kind of put his arm out there and is like, weak. But like I said, he made up for it with that fucking, look at that. Wow, all the way across the fucking ring, man. So
very impressive leg drop. I mean, he flew, dude. That guy is literally on the other side of the ring in the corner, and he hit it from that far away.
Probably about as far as way he could get him, Mike. Because if he'd have put him a little bit far, he would have hit. Actually, his feet would have hit the fucking ropes in the turnbuckle if he moved him over any further. Yeah. He's only about a foot away from the other turnbuckle.
Yeah, it was just pretty impressive, man. It comes
yes, sure was.
We go from there to another Halloween Scream tour. Plug, nothing from there. We then follow that with Kessler's Corner with Brad Armstrong. Now, the thing is, they plugged the tag match again with Brad and the Wolfman versus Gordy and Thrasher. Brad says Bullet is still recovering, but he is still the commissioner. I thought, I'm not playing it. I thought Brad was solid. I don't have any, but the problem is, we talked about this match last week and all the damn stipulations. I just don't have any interest in seeing the champion of a promotion in a tag match with the Wolfman versus Gordy in one of the headbangers.
But Brad hit a line of lines at the end, pal. He said, "If is the middle word in life." I came unglued and popped. That was awesome.
Let me. How was it? Was it at the very end? I don't remember, Doc.
Yeah.
Let me see something. Hold on.
Right there. Hit play.
Oh, shit.
Come on, you dumb piece of shit.
This is a lot harder than you think it is, asshole.
I don't think it is. I think it looks like you're just scrolling around.
It's a big, big word. It's only got...
There it is.
Is the middle word in life. It's a big, big word. It's only got 2 letters. If Terry Gordy can beat me, if I beat Terry Gordy, what's going to happen is Big Terry Berry Bam, 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 Bam. Gordy's going to get his head busted open and his butt whipped. And that's a problem.
What about now you teaming up with the Wolfman as well? Your partner, the Wolfman.
If it's the middle word in life, and it's a big word, and it's only 2 letters, I thought that was phenomenal.
I wrote down good, solid promo at that point. And that's all I really wrote about it, man.
And here's the thing: he stumbles a little bit there, but I just like the guy. He's likable. There's just some guys you can forgive the stumbles. Tracy, Brad, Dirty White Boy, they get going and they get, Horner was a different story, but God almighty.
Horner's stumbles are magical for a different reason.
Yeah. So now we're on to Corny here, and he's got the headbangers and Gordy again. And I said I'll listen to this promo, and it wasn't good. And I was sitting there thinking that Corny is standing there with that mic, thinking, "Man, fuck me, I am going broke with this crew."
You know what I put terrible question mark until until Corny starts to talk, because you're right, he's standing there once again. He's out there with the Gordy and the Headbangers, people listening at home. But I put terrible question mark until Corny talks. But yeah, you can just tell, Doc, what you said. Man, he's just kind of like, holy fuck, I got to save this ship, man. It's going down faster and faster. Or as you guys were saying, we're getting closer and closer to that fucking edge, quick. And he's like, get back. You can see it, you hear it rather, the desperation there.
Basically, we're taking in water right now, guys, at an epic level.
Yeah.
That's what I had from that. The problem, I have no interest in that match with those four guys, and I like two of them a lot, and it just is nothing there for me to chew on. So we'll keep going. We got one more match in this episode to talk about: Brad Armstrong versus Thrasher. And Doc, what do you have from this?
Can you go to 29:50? And I need Bobby to.
No, go to 29:48. Look at the rat.
Let's see. I'm almost there.
You're right. That's what I wrote down. 29:48. Something. Yeah, lucky. Woo, Billy. What's up, Billy?
Okay, so hold on. In Harlan, Kentucky, is she the prom queen? Is she the homecoming queen? Is she the number one lady in Harlan?
She was a visitor.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I think she traveled over there.
Did she get everybody's attention from the ring? Did everybody come back going? Was the locker room
put on TV, didn't they?
Yeah. She's an unusually large and meaty earlobe there. But other than that, I gotta think she is the thoroughbred of the scene. Mike, what are your thoughts about this milky white princess?
She's not my speed, but I mean, I guess it works if you're in Harlan, Kentucky, and you got to have something to put your fun dipstick in, I guess.
Okay.
She was a good girl, guys.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So
keep going, Doc.
At some point, it felt like Thrasher should say, instead of a handful of tights, that BA had a handful of skirt. Thrasher's solid in the ring. There's nothing wrong with this match.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't have anything bad about the match, to be honest with you.
Look at 3708 for me, or 3707.
3707. Let's see. What do we have there? Oh boy. You're gonna say something very unprofessional.
That kid seems upset. I was like, I don't know if he's into the match or if maybe Buddy took his mom out behind the dumpster. And he's worried.
You are a jackass. You are so dirty. You are going to hell.
Buddy was like, come with me, lady. And he's like, Mom, no. And she's like, this is our big chance to get out of here.
Oh God!
Can you hit me? Let's be if we can. Let's be serious for a second. 37-42.
Okay.
Nice right hand from Brad here.
We're almost there.
This is it.
Yeah.
That looked good.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I like that.
I can't get past the kid with his mama.
Look at that beautiful drop kick. That's what I put right there.
I did too.
Beautiful match.
Drop
you can tell
kick.
Brad's calling it. He's out there taking the bumps for Brad, and he takes a big, beautiful bump off the punch. But I put beautiful drop kick, man. That is one of the best. He just gets up all on them, and those guys could work too, man. Glenn and Charles, they could both work, man. The headbangers.
Yeah.
And Thrasher just in there bumping for him. Look at this. He's up all in his grill. I don't even think he's put his hand up, he just took it, and it was just beautiful. Good. That's good. Beautiful.
Yeah. That drop kick Brad threw him. He gets some height and elevation, man.
Yes. Yeah.
He gets some height and elevation. So what happens is that's a beautiful drop kick from Brad near the finish of the match on Thrasher. Mosh tries to get involved at the end, but that didn't work as Brad forgot them both. He got them both down, and then Brad ends up hitting I'm gonna get it right, Thrasher with the Russian leg sweep, and Brad wins. The stuff hits the fan at the end with Gordy and Wolfman hitting the ring. The Headbangers and Gordy are laying a leather strap into Wolfman, and Brad is also getting some leather laid to his hydrated back. We cut to commercial for things to settle down, but it's hitting the fan at the end, I guess, trying to build up Halloween Scream at this point in the match that these four are going to have. So that's basically what you got there, as Wolfie is throwing some terrible punches on the ground right there. I don't have anything else from it. Doc, anything else before we go to the last promo?
No, sir.
All right, Bobby, you, or can we go to the promo?
I just put strap across the back, look stiff, and then shit happens. Yeah.
His hydrated back, because I got yelled at for saying that Robert Gibson's back was wet and he was getting strapped in very early Smoky Mountain. So it's the hydrated back now. And on that note, let's go to the Heavenly Bodies and Jim Cornette, as they're going to close out the show with a promo. Here it is.
The General and the Heavenly Bodies, and of course Friday night, you guys had better be ready for war. It's a street fight with the Thugs.
I can't believe this. I don't know what Bob Armstrong did, letting Robert Gibson be the special referee. That's like having a third party in the match.
Hey, that's just like putting somebody else on their team, but that's what they want, because they realize that the Thugs alone can't beat the Heavenly Bodies. Nobody in the World Wrestling Federation could do it. Nobody in Smoky Mountain Wrestling could do it. Nobody on the face of the planet can beat these guys in a tag team wrestling match. So this Friday night, Halloween Scream starts in Knoxville with a Smoky Mountain street fight. Anything goes. That's our specialty. Like we've said before, the Bodies are kings of the street fight. So we're going to bring some furniture, we're going to bring some plumbing fixtures, we're going to make sure that there ain't enough left of the Thugs to sop up with a good fluffy biscuit. So that way, by the time October 28th and Johnson City rolls around, Robert Gibson may be the referee, but he ain't going to have nobody to referee, because the Thugs are going to be finished. Right, Doc? So you think this thing's cut and dried too?
Well, what I think is that the Smoky Mountain area, the people around here love their families. Everybody breaks their cornbread up in that buttermilk. They have their big family dinners on Sunday. Everybody gets together and has a grand old time. In fact, I heard that Tony Anthony and his father, or his daddy, as they say right here in the Smoky Mountain, Papa, they used to walk to school. He used to walk Tony to school, but they did. The thing is, they were both in the same grade, The problem is, Tony Anthony thinks he's a thug. They want to come out here and talk about how bad they are, but they are bad. Both of them, they have bad breath so much that when they talk, I can see the words come out, Jim. Thinking about Tony Anthony and Tracy Smothers, both of them, they're so ugly it looks like their necks threw up. Now you guys want to talk about what a great tag team you are. You want to talk about how you wanted to try and put me out of action. You want to talk about trying to get the boot off my foot.
Ain't going nowhere.
I can promise you this. I don't take my boot off. In fact, I don't take anything off for nothing, except when I take it off for your old lady, the white girl. And she enjoys it a lot. Let me tell you that, Mr. White Boy.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Tracy, the white boy are out here. We have got a war on our hands.
All right. Well, Dr. Tom went a little too far, and it turns into an old school brawl at the end. I thought Dr. Tom, with an old but a good one, about Tony and his dad walking to school together because they're in the same grade, and then Tony's breath being so bad you can see the words coming out. I swear someone or somewhere in this promotion has said those lines before, but that was fine. I was fine with it. Doc, what did you have from this? I thought this was great at the end of the show.
Yeah, Southerners do say daddy a lot, like Dr. Tom said, and I'm a Southerner, and we do that.
Yeah.
My daddy. And then Man, what an incendiary comment from Dr. Tom about taking it off for the old lady, the white girl. It's been a long time since we've heard her. They, obviously Dr. Tom and white girl and white boy have a long history of famous activity going back to Continental.
Right.
And so it's just, if you know your history, that's just steeped in tradition, and I really thought it was good.
Bobby?
I put Dr. Tom kind of doing a Piper. You can hear the Piper tone to his voice a little bit, but I think he's kind of shooting it. He just really, other notes, some, like you said, there's a couple older jokes thrown in there or whatever. But when it comes down to the end of it, man, he's just like, call it, you're the white girl, and if you know the history there a little bit, it's just kind of like, it's going to get someone pissed off. And I thought it was overall pretty good for Tom to do it, working his promo as Doc and calling out the white girl like that. Whoa.
Brutal.
Still.
Yeah.
Getting some heat. Getting some heat, man. I thought it was fine though. So
yeah. Yeah.
All right. So anything else, Doc, from you?
No, I mean,
all right.
No.
All right. Well, let's get ready to close this episode out. Before we do so, I want to say to everybody out there, please take care of yourself. As of right now, it's recording this. We're still in the middle of this virus and this pandemic, and we hope you're out there staying safe and healthy as we go through this brave new world that we're in. And I want to remind you also that if you are shut in, yet you're still shopping on Amazon, please consider to use our Amazon referral link for all of your needs at tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. A great way to support this show without spending anything extra. Again, that's tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. Go buy Bobby's books. That'll keep you busy while you're at home, especially Pin Me, Pay Me. It's fabulous with some great stories in it, along with everything else that you can buy from Amazon. Let's go to the disability checks. Doc, you first. How many checks are you giving this episode?
Well, I thought this episode was pretty good. I was entertained much more than last week's. And so we talked about the cliff. And while this is not as good as some of the earlier episodes that we've watched for sure, I did come up from last week because I do think it was a much better episode and far better than I had expected when I hit play at the beginning. Always fun to chop it up with my my partners here. I'm going to say 7.5.
All right. Bobby, how many are you giving it?
I had 7.8, same as the last one.
All right. Fair enough. I'll go with the graded system. I think this one was a B. I think it was better, much better than what we saw last week. So I'm going to go with that. All right. We're going to do the Government Cheese Award. Before we do so, if you can afford it in the middle of this pandemic and want some extra content to flow through your ears, go to tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. We've got over 200 plus episodes there at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. The video reviews, the world-class shows, the ECW shows, and all the non-wrestling shows that Doc and Harper and I have done over the years and nearly 3 years now of the Patreon service. So there you go. tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Government Cheese Award. Doc, who are you giving yours to?
I thought about this one a lot, but I got to tell you, good match. Love the promo. I'm going with Brad Armstrong.
All right. I'm going to go with Dr. Tom. Who are you going to give yours to, Bobby?
I went with Dr. Tom just because of the last little bit, of the whole show. I wasn't really sure the whole show. I really wasn't. Not taking anything away from Brad or that match, but and that high drop kick, I put that over. But Dr. Tom delivered that line at the very end there to bring the brawl about the white girl. So, yeah, I'm going with Dr. Tom.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Before we get out of here, I want to mention to check out Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn, the northern version of BTT, slightly classier, a little bit more professional, but still fun nonetheless. They support us. Please support them. Also, check out the ECW cast on our Patreon feed, but Mike Prue and JV that do that show, they also do the Bottom Line cast, which is the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So check them out as well. Doc, anything else before we get out of here and ride off into the sunset and go do some homeschooling?
Good Lord, can we do a few more episodes instead?
Bobby, anything from you before we get out of here?
Yes, listen, thanks. Yes, I don't plug it. I just want to say yes, man. Thanks for having me back on the show. I appreciate you guys very much. If you people have been enjoying me on the show, hopefully, like it has for me this morning. We recorded a couple hours here with what's going on in the world right now. Please, people, take care of each other, stay safe, take care of yourself. And if this provided you with a couple hours of entertainment and a get away from what's going on out in the world, like it did for me this morning, it kind of took my mind from what's actually happening. Like you said, it's the beginning of April. By the time you hear this, it's in May. Let's just get through this, people, and take care of yourself, man. And again, thank you guys for having me on the show. But I just hope that one of you fans out there, or all of you fans, have enjoyed this enough that you just kind of forgot what the fuck is going on outside, and you've enjoyed it. Relaxed, because there's a lot of tension and anxiety out there in the world right now, man. And we just got to get through this. So that's
Amen.
that.
Amen.
Amen to that. All right, Bobby. Well, with that being said, do us a favor, hit the tagline and get us out of here.
Book it, bitch.